Welcome back to another episode of Sports Den Podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Hooker, and today's episode we'll be talking about the NFL playoffs. You see Romell, you see me. Let's get into it. Romell, start off with the NFC. Panthers versus Rams. What did you see from that game, and what stood out to you?
So the main things that stood out was, the Rams. A lot of people, me for example, I didn't think the Rams would actually keep this game close. They kept it very, very close to 4 quarters. Get credit where credit is due. Coach Cornelius, man, he coached his team up pretty well. Bryce kind of had a decent game. He had a few big plays. I feel like they left a few opportunities there. They could have definitely won this game. But just couldn't connect on a few passes. MVP Stafford, man, Stafford had a really good game. He had a cold stretch through the second and third quarter. He started off the game really hot, went perfect. Um, but other than that, the Rams offensively, they were really good. They kept up with the Panthers. Puka had a monster game, 10 catches, 111 receiving yards, a touchdown. The defense is still my concern. I think there's still like a few gaps, weaknesses that can be exploited with the Rams defense. Their pass defense hasn't really been as good as it should be. The pass rush needs to get a lot better in order for them to actually get far in the playoffs. But other than that, really good game. Panthers, give credit where credit's due. The Panthers tried their best, but the Rams, they're just a better overall football team.
Oh yeah, for sure. For the Panthers, I think this is a season of success. Even though you guys didn't win that playoff game, I think you've realized your foundation. I think Bryce Young is your franchise quarterback. One person that stood out was Jalen Coker. Jalen Coker had over 130 yards receiving, a touchdown, and he looked like the wide receiver too. It looked like he was stepping inside of the big moment instead of Xavier Leggett, where they spent a first round draft pick on. And I think that he might get traded, or they might try to move him to like a punt return, kick return specialist or something, because he needs to find his confidence back, because in that offense, Ted is going to be the number one. But that number two spot is wide open now. I think Coker is taking the advantage of it, taking the opportunity to step into that role. And I think that if Xavier Leggett, if he wants to sustain that first round draft pick and that status of that, I think he needs to continue to put his head down and work, because in a game like that, he was very much needed and he didn't show up. So I think that what the Panthers need to do is figure out what they're gonna do with Xavier Leggett, because I already think they're already getting rid of Rico Dowdle. Um, the defense was solid enough for 4 quarters to win this game. I think Matthew Stafford just put the perfect pass to Parkinson at the end of the game, and that would lead to a win.
Yeah. If you also look at it, the Panthers secondary played a lot better than I expected. Shout out JC Horn. JC Horn, if he didn't get hurt, he left the game, I think, with a concussion. Never came back, returned to the game. So that was also a big, big blow to the Panthers. They didn't have their best corner, Mike Jackson, a guy that was like he was a practice squad player for 3 years. He had his best game probably of his freaking career. So I think the Rams secondary played a lot better than a lot of people expected. A lot of people expected Stafford to rip his defense apart, but like we've seen with the Panthers all year long, very up and down. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what Panthers team you're gonna get. Even though this season was a success for them, won the division, 8-9 record, way better than the last few years. I still think um this win is good for the Rams, but defensively they got to figure some things out in order if they want to beat the Bears and go farther and make the Super Bowl. Their pass rush has to get better. In order for them to make it, they need to get stops. They got to get pressure. They got to get turnovers, and that's the main thing for this defense. That's my question for them. Can they get the stops and the sacks that they need in order to win?
Yeah, for sure. Moving forward, the Eagles versus 49ers. That game showed me a lot, and as you guys know, the Eagles got rid of Kevin Patula, who was their offensive coordinator. I think people can blame him for the season, but for that game, the blame can be put on AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown, for what he was wanting, and he told it through social media. He told it through the media to basically relay the message to his coaches that he wants the ball, he wants this, he wants that. He wants more opportunities. I think that the Eagles gave him enough opportunities to showcase his talent, and I think he didn't come up with those opportunities because we saw 3 drop balls from AJ Brown, and it looked like Smitty was the wide receiver 1 that day. And there's no discredit to AJ Brown's talent. It just that performance right there wasn't his best, and he didn't show up. And I think that what the 49ers did was they just played 49ers football. Kyle Shanahan pulled a trick play at the perfect time. Getting Jawan Jennings on the end around, throwing a great pass to Christian McCaffrey, who I think is the best running back in the NFL right now. And I think that for what the 49ers are built on, I think this next game against Seattle, they have to rely on Christian McCaffrey even more when George Kittle, he announced that he tore his Achilles. I think that Christian McCaffrey is even more valuable now than ever before. And I think that what the 49ers did showcase how good of a coach Kyle Shanahan is. Because all the injuries that's been happening this season, he's been not reluctant to say like, oh, this is like the hardest coaching job ever or anything like that. He just puts his head down working. He's making things work, and he's getting the 49ers back into the divisional round.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right in the coffin. Like you said, I would say I put part of the blame on AJ. You gotta catch those passes. You know what I mean? You've been I was very outspoken all year long. You want the ball, you want the ball, you want more calls to you, more plays to you. You barely got 1,000 yards this season. So I would put part of the blame on him. I'll give part of the blame on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts went 20 for 35, 168 yards and a touchdown. I mean, like this is like below average like stats I'm looking at right here. And I mean, if you and for a lot of people that say like Hurts, he's a top 10 quarterback, top five quarterbacks. Yes, Patula had a bad game. I get it. And I saw a stat where in the game on Sunday he ran like 48% of the pass plays. Most of the receivers ran like hitches 48% of the time, which is bad. That's bad. I get it. But at the end of the day, there are certain like decisions that Hurts made that it can't be just like it's just like he's throwing it into double coverage on the last play of the game. The tight end, he threw it to Dallas Goddard. He's double covered. Why are you throwing it over the middle when there's 2 linebackers right there? You know what I mean? So it's just like I can't let Hurts not get some type of the blame because there are certain plays that he left wide open. Oh, he had some overthrows too. AJ Brown dropped a few balls. Obviously, Kevin Tula gets majority of the blame too. His play calling, and then on the defensive side, they balled out. You had 2 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask much for your defense. You held
Mhm.
the Niners to 23 points. You held them to 75 rushing yards. You know what I mean? Like the defense did their job. They came out and balled. It was on the offense that did not replicate and produce as much as the defense did. So that's why the Eagles are home right now.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta reiterate what you said because like the Eagles defense, Quinyon Mitchell proved that he was a first time All Pro. He proved that he was a first team All Pro. That game, 2 interceptions, was basically shut down on his side. And I think that for what for what the Eagles asked for their defense, they couldn't ask for much more. Shutting down Chris McCaffrey to 75 rushing yards. I mean, they just made things difficult for this 49ers team, but eventually the 49ers team, their will to win showed more than the Eagles as a collective. Now for the AFC, we got the Patriots and the Chargers. That game, uh the Patriots did what Mike Vrabel came into New England and what he wanted to do. I think New England is basing their games on the trenches, and I think that game was won in the trenches. We saw Milton Williams. People said they overpaid for Milton Williams, but he was the main contributor to what they were doing on the defensive end. And I think that his impact on the game was very, very much out there for people to see that hey, if you have a great defensive line, you can win those tough games much more easier. And I think that he's done his fair share for the Patriots. And also, Justin Herbert, that offensive line just wasn't there. They lost both their premier tackles, and also they just rotated in and out guys throughout that offensive line. So it made things difficult to even for them to even build a connection. The Patriots did enough to win the game. Drake May, he drove the car steady throughout the whole game. He didn't try to do too much. He just kept things simple and afloat, and that's what got them the victory.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna say this about the Chargers. That's listen. The O line played bad. I get it. O line, gave up 6 sacks. Herbert was scrambling all over the place. But we gotta talk about a bigger picture here. Herbert is 0-3 in the playoffs. There's a broader picture here. It's a bigger picture. Herbert 0-3 the playoffs, man. If I remember correctly, his playoff stats. He has 4 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions in the playoffs. He has a QBR rating of a 70, like 60, 70 range. I have to fact check that. But I digress. So at the end of the day, we gotta talk. The O line is the culprit. We know that. But Herbert, there were a few plays that Herbert could have threw the ball instead of just sitting in the pocket and taking a sack. I'm just gonna keep it real. And I love Herbert. I think Herbert is a top 5 quarterback. But at the end of the day, his playoff just his playoff failures have to get talked about. And I don't like how like the NFL media has coddled him a little bit. He obviously the O line sucks. I like I said, I understand that. But if like I said, what hurts. If your fan base and certain analysts say you're a top 5, top 10 quarterback, you should overcome some of that adversity. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And you should be able to put up good numbers, good stats. He has not done that in 3 of his playoff games. He is over 3. Like I said, 6 interceptions, 4 passing touchdowns. And and you got to look at it. This Patriot defense, it's a great defense. But like I said with the Chargers, and we've seen this time and time again with them, they look like a regular in the regular season. They look like contenders. Come to the
Mhm.
playoffs, they fall apart. It's always been the main thing with the Chargers. And for the Patriots, defense bought out. Drake May played really good. Like you said, he just drove the boat. It's not really he could have did. He led the team in rushing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He had 10 carries, 66 rushing yards. Like he was running all over the place. But for the Patriots, I would say this: I got to see more. You know what I mean? I got to see more. They've sold me a little bit per week, but and I don't think that's like a bad thing to want to see more. I just want to see a little bit more from this offense and from this defense. Well, not from the defense. Defense has been balling all year, but like I want to see a little bit more from this offense, especially when they face Houston. We just saw Houston went absolutely berserk on Monday Night Football against Steelers.
Yeah.
Defense went insane, insane. So so I would say I want to see a little bit more from the Patriots. They look good running the ball. Passing offense is great. You got weapons. You got Booty. You got Diggs, Hunter Henry, Stevenson, them boys. You know what I mean. You got Will Campbell back. Wilson's back. So I would love to see a little bit more for the Patriots. They left a few touchdowns on the table. Vrabel. There's a fourth down. He went for a few times. He didn't get it, but it happens. So I would say like my overall takeaway from this. Um, it was a good game, but Patriots got to see more. And for the Chargers, you gotta fix that O line, buddy. You gotta fix that O line. You gotta protect your quarterback, man. And for Herbert, you gotta lock in. You gotta lock in.
Yeah. Uh, Bills Jaguars. Um,
Bills Jaguars. Oh, you can go first with that one if you want.
for me, Josh Allen just showed up that day. I think Josh Allen, this is the postseason where you have to show up. I think this is the postseason where if you got to make the Super Bowl, because if not, like, who says you can make it when Patrick Mahomes is healthy? Who says you can make it when Lamar is healthy and the Ravens are in? I think that this is the time to go ahead and find your way into the Super Bowl, because this is your best chance at winning it, in my opinion. Because you don't have to go through a gauntlet of the AFC like you're so used to doing when you have to face a Burrow or face a Mahomes the next round. And I think that if he can continue to keep finding ways to win, I think this would be good for him because if not, Sean McDermott was going to be fired after that game. They would
You
like,
think so? You think he could have been fired if
yeah,
they would have lost?
yeah, because you got to think the Bills want to bring a championship back to Buffalo. I think that it's been
Nah, they.
escaping their hands
I was
for
say
a
they've
long.
never won any Super Bowl as long as
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, they've never
yeah,
lost.
they never won one, but it's like Josh Allen gives them the best chance. But they
Right.
gonna like if you can't win with arguably what people say is the best player in the NFL, when can you? And I think that sometimes they will start off with the head coach, and I think that Sean McDermott, if he didn't win this game, he'll be on a very much of a hot seat moving forward throughout this offseason. But for the Jaguars, it's tough to lose at home. It's tough to lose to a team that you already beat, and you had them. I just gotta say you had them. Parker Washington, great game. I think that what Trevor Lawrence needs to do, just get back to the lab. Understand that this game doesn't define you. I think this game, the last interception, I get, I get people screwing, throwing shots at him, but at the end of the day,
That was just a good play by That was just a really good play by I forgot the guy's name. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Um, yeah, Cole Bishop, that's his name.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
their second round pick from Utah. Yeah, that was just a really good play by him and the linebacker. That was just a good play
yeah,
overall.
yeah, but it's like I saw people questioning Trevor Lawrence and his ability to lead the team. And I think that if we're questioning Lawrence's ability to lead the team, then we gotta question Herbert's. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. And my take on this game is, like you said, Josh Allen took over the game. That's simple. He went 28 for 35, 273 and a touchdown. James Cook was not only nowhere to be seen, but like he was contained. The leading rusher was contained, and I think that is the way to beat this football team. As long as you stop James Cook, you can win this team. You can beat this team. It's shown. It's shown on film. You shut down Cook. You can beat this football team. It's just that like the problem with the Jaguars when they lost, they ran away from the run game. You had 10 carries, 7 yards with Trevor Etienne, and yeah, in the second half you weren't as aggressive running the football. And and for Trevor Lawrence, I thought he had a pretty decent game, in my opinion. Besides the one interception early in the game, and then the last pick, I don't really put that on him. That was a good play by Cole Bishop, like I said.
Hmm.
Um, and then another takeaway for the Jags is just like defensively they did everything that they could. They shut down the run. You try to contain Allen best you can, and then you just sometimes games like those you just lose, and like you gotta take it on the chin and salute the other team and call it a day. Um, but for the Jags, definitely the future is still bright for them. As for the Bills, like you said, like for Allen, like this is it, man. This is huge. Like, you don't have no Burrow, no Mahomes. The two guys that's beaten you in the playoffs multiple times. Well, Burrow's beat you once, but Mahomes beaten you 3 times. So like this is it. Like for Allen, like you have to win these next few games, or the scrutiny is gonna be higher than ever in your career. And for Button, like for one last thing for Buffalo, um, when they going against Denver and that mile high and all of that like altitude and everything, it's gonna be a different atmosphere for Buffalo. And it's gonna be a really tough game. They came out against Jacksonville. It was a good game through 4 quarters. Ending was great, but
Hmm.
Buffalo came through at the end. Their offense played great, defense played really good. Made turnovers when needed to. Got stops when needed. So I think this is a really good game. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we got
Texans.
Packers.
We're gonna talk about Packers last. Texans
Yeah.
and Steelers.
Texans. Well, this one's probably the least entertaining. This one was a blowout. Well, I mean, it was close to 3 quarters. It was 10. It was 7-6 through 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter came, and then Texans just started just punching them. But with Stroud's worst, I would say Stroud's worst game in a while. He had, I think, 3 turnovers, 1 pick, 2 fumbles. Um, Christian Kirk had an absolutely great game. When Nico went down with a concussion, man, he stepped up when needed.
Big,
Marks
big.
running the football, the running game. I saw the Texans O line just straight dominate the Steelers D line, man. Like the holes were huge. They were getting up 34 yards up the line of scrimmage, man. Like the Texans O line deserves an MVP for this game. They dominated the Steelers D line. TJ Watt was nowhere to be found, man. Cam Hayward was nowhere to be found. Um, like the Texans overall just dominated the Steelers team, and what we saw from the Texans defense, man, this defense. If they keep this defense together intact, we could be seeing a Legion of Boom, a 2015 Denver Broncos type defense with this team. This defense loves to hit. They love to tackle. They love to impose their will. I love a defense like that. I love it. I love watching this defense play football. Kamari Lassiter is a demon. Stingley on the other side, he is locking down wide receiver ones. They allowed zero catches, zero catches. Him and Lassiter, zero catches. You got Will Anderson on the edge, man. Nah, he's a first team All Pro. Um, Daniel Hunter. You got Al Shair and the boys and the linebacker core. You know what I mean? Like this defense is top notch. They are ready. They are here. And one last thing for the Steelers. As we know, Mike Tomlin stepped down. I thought that was a good move for them. They needed a change.
Mhm.
They just, like I said, they got dominated on all fronts of the game. The run defense got shut down. DK only had 2 catches. DK got shut down. And for Rodgers, top 5 quarterback all time, in my opinion. Great quarterback. I've loved seeing him half my childhood, man. Just a bad way to go out with a pick six. So,
Yeah,
but Texans definitely, as long as Stroud does not turn the ball over, this Texans team is a force to be reckoned with, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure. For me, let's start with the Steelers. Steelers, you guys did enough to take the lead and arguably close the game out early. I think your defense played well enough for 3 quarters. You guys did enough to get some momentum going on your side, and then when the momentum was on your side, things just fell apart on the offensive line. I think that's credit to Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter, but I think both tackles just didn't show up that day. I think that for what Aaron Rodgers wanted to do, I think we all knew he wanted to get the ball out quick. But if they wanted to win, they had to hit the long ball, and I think them not connecting on the long ball made things very, very difficult for this offense. And Mike Thomas stepping down, it sucks. It's tough to do that, but I hope people know that Mike Tomlin was never a bad coach. I hope people know, like, winning every single season that he was coaching is probably one of the hardest tasks to do. And I think that with what they have, with who they have to hire next, that coach better be winning year one. Because if not, the Steelers fan base will become impatient. Um, for the Texans, CJ Stroud didn't play his best, and they still won. Nico Collins went down. Christian Kirk played a fantastic game. The defensively, Sting, Kamari, Casey Bullock, Jalen Petrie. Uh, that's that's a heck of a secondary.
Into top two secondary, top 3 defense. Not even top. I think that's defense top 1. That's the best defense in the league, in my opinion. After what I saw Monday, that's the best defense in my. I had Denver 1. We had this conversation a few weeks ago. I had Denver
I
1.
told you.
Yeah, nah, yeah, I had Denver
I was
1. Yeah,
Steven at
no.
Denver,
After
bro.
what I saw Monday, boy, I got Houston 1. That they were hitting. They were just, oh my god, they were flying all over the field. As a
Yeah,
former deep defensive player, dude, I love a team like that. That defense
yeah,
is like that for sure.
yeah, man. Packers Bears. Gonna make this quick. Bears. Shout out to Caleb Williams. Shout out to Ben Johnson. Being down 21-3 and coming back, I have to give credit where credit is due. Caleb Williams. There were a lot of scrutiny. There was a lot of scrutiny on you. I want to say after his rookie year, saying he wasn't good, he was a bust. But then his second year, hey, you came in with some structure. With Ben Johnson, he helped you out in a very big way. Drafting Luther Burden was big. Roman Dunze played a part. And I'm not gonna lie, DJ Moore, being a veteran of this wide receiver group, he shows up for big play, for big play, for big play. I think that him continuously showing up in big plays at the most needed time, I think, is what makes him arguably the most important piece in that wide receiver room. If we're being honest, have to shout out their defense. Yeah, Jordan Love had a fantastic game, but when you needed stops, you got the stops. Packers, Matt LaFleur. You caught a fantastic first half. Second half, you just let the foot off the gas. I don't know why. You just play. You play not to win instead of playing. You play to not to lose instead of playing to win. I think playing not to lose and playing to win is two different things. Coaching styles, two different ways to win a ball game. I think that being conservative in that moment wasn't the best idea. I think you could have played conservative once you start seeing the fourth quarter, you're up two possessions. Okay, you can start playing conservative with some time left on the clock, just to bleed the clock out. But if you still got to like play like a whole nother quarter, then just keep your foot on the gas. Jordan Love, this lost on you. One thing I can say about the Packers, you used a first round draft pick on Matthew Golden, and this game you decided to use him when you could have been using him like that from the middle to the season to the end, because we all know rookie wide receivers in the beginning sometimes they don't get that much love, but
Yeah.
once they get that responsibility, hey, like we need you. Matthew Golden showed up for them in the big ways. You have to think Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed all had big drops in the fourth quarter. Matt, you know who didn't? Matthew Golden. Uh, I think that for next season, Matthew Golden has to be your wide receiver one. He's your best wide receiver. All of them guys, they can figure itself out. But if you want to be a successful team and want to win the division moving forward, Matthew Golden has to be your wide receiver one. Uh, Packers did have a couple injuries, Devontae Wyatt, Michael Parsons, so that played a part into it. But next season, the Packers invest in some corners. Simple as that. You gotta invest in some corners. I think your corners are good enough to be complimentary corners, but there's no guy in that room. I think that they need a guy in that room, whether they draft it from this rookie class or go out, trade, or sign somebody. I think that's what the Packers need to do for their offseason plans. So yeah.
Yeah, Packers, they blew blew a 21-3 lead. Plain and simple. It was a coaching like mall practice, man. When Matt LaFleur he let off the gas in the second half. Wasn't really aggressive. Should have been kept running the football with Josh Jacobs and them. Jordan Love, I thought played a actually a really good game, like 24-46, 323, four passing touchdowns. Played a heck of a game. But the Bears, they're just relentless, man. They're persistent. They're like a bug that you just flick away, but always comes back. Like Caleb Williams, first half, had two interceptions. Did not have a great first half, but second half, man, this kid's a comeback. He's a comeback kid. Like fourth
Yeah.
quarter comes, he like clicks. He like locks in immediately. And then like the fourth down throw, I'm not gonna lie, guys, that was probably top three most like great throws I've seen in a very, very long time. Like Chris Collins was like that was a little Mahomes like it was a little Mahomo, Mahomie.
Doing that. He be doing that.
But listen, I had to make that joke. But listen, little Mahomie. But listen, like I said, Caleb Williams, man, he comeback kid. He bought out in the fourth quarter. Colston Loveland. What a first round pick that Ben Johnson had with Colston Loveland, man. Like that was a great draft pick. Colston Loveland bought out 8 catches, 137. And then you go in the second round, you go get Luther Burden. Like Ben Johnson cooked. And his play calling cooked. And I just like the Bears, man, like they and defensively, you got Trayman Edmonds, you got a good D line with Sweat in them. Jalen Johnson secondary. You got I forgot the safety's name, but anyways, you still have a good secondary, and like you know what I mean. Like the Bears, they have a good fundamental football team, and also DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 54 yards. If the Bears weren't down half the game, they could have been running the football. They can also run the football. They have a really good running game. So this Bears team, they're very balanced. And the takeaway is from this game is that like, never count out the Bears. Matt LaFleur, your seat's getting a little hotter. You get another year because you didn't have Micah Parsons. That's literally what's saving your job right now. You don't have Micah Parsons. So that's what's saving you from getting fired. For the Bears, on the other hand, you know, hell of a game from Ben Johnson play calling. Caleb Williams absolutely went insane in the second half. And I think the Rams Bears is definitely gonna be the biggest game of the weekend. I think that will be like the number one game. My last takeaway, I will say this much. For the Bears though, you got to start out a little bit faster. Definitely get the run game a little bit going. I think they started off the game trying to throw the ball a little too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Caleb was definitely a little rattled to start. First playoff game, it happens. So I think Ben should definitely look to incorporate the run game a little bit more, not to focus more so on passing it the first two quarters because I think Caleb had 20 pass attempts through two quarters, the first two quarters.
Mhm.
So I think definitely should try to incorporate more of the run game.
Mhm.
But other than that, really good game, great comeback. The rivalry between Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur, man, I love it. I love it. We got this is good. NFC North becomes like the AFC North. Like I love rivalries and hatred between teams within a division. It's what makes football great. So I love to see that. Very good game though.
All right. Now we're going to talk about the divisional round. Saturday's slate: Bills, Broncos, 49ers, Seahawks. Bills, Broncos. Who do you have and why?
Hmm. This is a tough one, y'all. Listen. So I didn't like. I didn't think about. Oh, I did think about it, but I haven't like fully gone in depth. I'm gonna say this much. I'm gonna pick the home team. I'm gonna go Broncos only because of the defense. I think the defense is gonna get it done. I think they're gonna shut down James Cook, Nick Bonito. You got Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, PS2, Riley Moss, and them boys. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna shut down James Cook. They're gonna contain Josh Allen. I believe Bo Nix will have a great game. You heard it here first. I think Bo will have a great game. I think Sean Payne's on the call a great game as well. They're gonna get RJ Harvey involved.
Okay.
Sutton is gonna get the ball. You know what I mean?
Okay. You got it.
But
You got it. You got it. You
yeah,
said
so I think I
Bo
got
Nix.
Broncos winning this one.
Okay, so you saying Bo Nix masterclass?
Yeah, I'm saying right here, Bo Nix masterclass. I believe in Bo. I've been a firm believer in Bo. The reason I'm a firm believer in Bo is because he's my fantasy quarterback. But I digress. That boy was giving me some fantasy boy. That's my fantasy quarterback. I will always have faith in Bo.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely got Broncos winning this one. I think I'm gonna go 27-24. I think Broncos will win on a walk off. I think they win a walk off.
Okay. Give me the Bills. I say the
Nah.
I think give me the Bills, and here's why. I think the Bills can beat the Broncos simply because we just need someone to put on Superman cape just for one game. I think Josh Allen can do that, and we've seen him do that. I think Josh Allen's ability to take over a game, we've seen against the Jaguars. He's done that. I think Josh Allen's the only quarterback in the league, other than Lamar and maybe Joe Burrow, that has gone toe to toe with Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. But I think that for what Josh Allen needs to do, he needs to put on a Superman cape, and I think he has the ability to do that to take over. And also, James Cook, he was contained last game, but who says they won't get James Cook the ball more this game coming up? So I think the Bills will win. I think the Bills will win 24-20. 24-20. 49ers and Seahawks.
Ooh, this
Let
one's
me go.
this one.
No,
Honestly, I'm gonna
I
go
can go.
Seattle. No, I'm gonna go Seattle
Thank
because
you.
no,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I think
Thank you.
no, if they had Kittle, I would have went Niners,
Okay.
but Kittle towards Achilles, so I'm gonna go Seattle only because I can't trust unless they have Ricky Pearsall. Unless Pearsall is playing, I don't know. We don't know if he's playing yet. But for right now, I'm gonna go Seattle. I may flip Niners. We'll see if he's playing or not. Because I think with the Niners is that like you can count on Christian McCaffrey the whole game, but you need your supporting cast like Demarcus Robinson, Kendrick Bourne. Them you need like guys that are unknown to step up, and I
Mhm.
don't know if they're capable of doing that in Seattle in that atmosphere. You know what I mean? So I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna lean Seattle. I'm obviously going the safe route for this one. I'm like the I pick like the outgoing picks, but I'm gonna go Seattle. Also, this the Seattle defense like I said, so it's also a top five defense.
Boy.
Weatherspoon, Lindor. Leonard Williams, Giants legend. Julian Love back there. You still got Reek and those boys. You know what I mean? I think Seattle is definitely gonna get it done. Um, you don't also you don't need a Darnold masterclass. You got K9. You got Charbonnet. You don't need a Darnold masterclass. All you got to do run the football,
Just drive the boat.
dominate time possession. You know what I mean? Dominate time possession, play action, get Jason a couple passes here and there, and then you can win this game. That's all Seattle needs to do. Is just dominate time possession and run the football. And you don't need like the Niners defense. It's hobbled, but you cannot count out Kyle Shanahan. You
Yeah,
just
for
can't.
sure, for sure.
So definitely lean to Seattle for this one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm taking my team, Seattle. Love my Seahawks to death. But one thing about it, Nick Emenwari, I think he will play a very, very big role because I think he has to be the one to follow CMC in a sense to where, hey man, we're trusting you. Hey, you got to make these tackles on CMC. You're physical enough. You're fast enough. And he's been given a lot of responsibility as a rookie so far this season. I think that him and Spoon, because we can contain Christian McCaffrey all we want to, but we need a team to do it. And I think having cornerbacks, having secondary players that are willing to tackle, having players like that are very, very key in this game. And I think that they'll be very key in this game to containing Christian McCaffrey. Also, yeah, you can't count out Kyle Shanahan, but I think in a game like this, the 49ers have beaten the Seahawks. They have traded wins and losses between the two. I think that the last time they played, the Seahawks won. But for what we want to do is to make the Super Bowl. But I think we need to take one game at a time. I think that in a game like this, Sam Darnold, we do not need you to go for 300. A
Yeah,
cool,
you don't got to be Superman.
a,
Use
a cool,
use
a cool
yeah.
220, maybe a touchdown or two, and no turnovers. You're gonna like that's a winning recipe in my opinion. I think
Right.
that I think that our tight ends will be key. AJ Barner has been a very, very key component of this offense. I think that he will be a very good um he'll be a very good player to watch out for. For the 49ers, I think there's just too injury. There's just too injury. I think the George Kittle injury took it over to where like tore his Achilles and like dang, like George tore it. So it's like
Yeah.
so it's like because he was a big part of the offense too, blocking, catching the football, running after the catch. I think he was a very special component of the offense, but now that's even more responsible on Christian McCaffrey. And that's tough to ask because he's going to get at least 30 touches in that game.
Yeah.
At least.
Sure, he might get 40.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
Yeah,
the thing.
he's gonna need a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna get a lot. And I think that Demarcus Robinson, we saw him step up. If a 49ers receiver can step up, I truly believe it's Jawan Jennings. I think Jawan Jennings has been wide receiver one in that room for the whole season. I think that if they want to win, Jawan Jennings step up. But for what the Seahawks have going on, God, gotta go my guys. I gotta go my guys. I think it's gonna be a real good thing. And watch out for special teams. I think he can have a big return to ignite the crowd and get momentum back in Seattle's way if things are going well. But I think Shaheed, the I think the reason why you trade for Shaheed is going to show up throughout these playoffs.
I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. Sunday, Texans Patriots to start off the day. Dang, we got Texans Patriots first.
Yeah, I think Sundays games are a lot better than than Saturdays.
That's gonna be
But
good. Ooh.
I'm gonna go on a whim here. I'm gonna say Houston wins this game. I think Houston's gonna go in there and go into Fox for yep. Now I will say this much: if Nico is healthy and comes up from protocol, he's ready to go. I'll be more confident in my pick. I'm a little not so confident only because there's no Nico. But this defense, man, it's like I said earlier, it's top notch. It's BIA best in America right now, man. Like
Mm.
you got Lassiter, like you said, Stingley, Petrie, and the boys. You got Bullock in the back. Shahir, Will Anderson, Day like this defense is one of the best teams I've seen in a couple of years. And oh, actually no, Philly had a great defense, but I think what the thing is with the Patriots is they haven't played someone like Houston. They haven't played any great contenders. as of late. And if you want to count LA, sure, go ahead. But like the thing is, LA, that's an injured O line. They weren't even at their full capacity, their full like team. They had
Hmm.
no Joe, they had no Slater. You know what I mean? So I look at that. And I think with Houston, I think they're a more experienced playoff team. Stroud has won 3 playoff games in the last 3 years. D'Amico Ryans is an experienced head coach. Not that Vrabel isn't, but I think that the Patriots as a team is not very experienced. And I think Houston's very able to go down in Foxborough and sneak away with a win. Um, and I also think as long as Stroud and the O line can protect the football, even when they didn't protect the football, they still dominated. But this is a different team. But I think like in this game for Houston, you can't turn the ball over. They have to run the football. They gotta predicate on play action like they did with Pittsburgh, and I still think they will do it. For the score of this game, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Houston 21, Patriots 17.
Mm. Okay. Let's do it like this. I think you chose Texans. I'll go
It's not a
Patriots.
crazy play. I truly, I think they can. I think they can go in there and beat that team.
No,
I think they
no,
can. They
trust.
can out physical Houston. They can out physical New England.
Yeah, trust me. I 100% agree with you. But the thing is, I'll go Patriots, and here's why. I think Drake May is mobile enough to escape a few sacks.
Yeah,
I didn't say
right.
every
Better
sack.
Rodgers.
I said a few sacks because there's some plays. If Rodgers steps us in the pocket and Rodgers can outrun, throw on the run, like we saw Prime Rodgers do or Young
Yeah,
Rodgers do, it would have been a close game. But I think Drake May, he has a physical capability to extend some plays more than Rodgers. I think the wide receiver room for the Patriots is more accessible than the Steelers. I think Stephon Diggs run better routes than DK. I think you can ask guys like Kayshawn Booty to run a couple plays to just get open. I'm open. Just throw it to me. I'll try to make a play. I think that a key player will be Hunter Henry. I think Hunter Henry, he's been Drake May's safety blanket. I think that if the Patriots want to win, Hunter Henry has to have a good game. That I believe the Patriots defense can stop the Texans offense. If there's no Nico, and if Gonzo's back there too, guarding Christian Kirk, I think it'll be a very physical game. I think 2017. I think 2017 is the range for this game for sure. I do not expect any team to score over 30 points.
yeah. I
Telling
don't. I expect it to be a little
telling
scoring
you that
too.
now.
I agree with that.
I'm telling you that now.
Yeah,
Do not
I
expect
agree.
either team to score 30 points.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
gonna be very low scoring.
yeah. Last game, Rams and Bears. This game will have 0-degree wind chill.
Oh, you know what? You
Yeah,
know what?
brother.
Part of me wants to go Bears. I cannot go against McVay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go Rams here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams here. Yeah, I'm gonna go two. I think
Yeah.
the road winners will win on Sunday, in my opinion. Listen, I think weather will be a factor for LA, man. Listen, but who better than Stafford though? It's not like Stafford's never
Mm.
played in the cold. You know what I mean? Like Stafford's always played in the cold. So I think like, and also the thing with LA is LA went to Lambeau a couple years ago and they still won it in the wind in the freezing -degree weather. So it's not like the Rams can't do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like,
And they
yes.
last year with Philly, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
last year with Philly, they were in the
Yes.
game in the zone. And Saquon,
Thank
and
you.
Saquon freaking ran up the guy. You know what I mean? So like, it's not like that they can't keep up in the cold. So like anyone that disregards LA because of the weather. You're just you don't know ball like they can definitely play in the cold. They can do it. They're not the Dolphins where they're like they play in the cold and then they choke. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're not the Dolphins. So I'm gonna go Rams here. I think Puka. I think no one's gonna. I think Jalen Johnson's gonna have a freak. I think he's gonna get cooked all game. I think Puka's gonna is definitely gonna have a big
No,
game.
wrong wide receiver, buddy.
Yeah, I
Devontae
think Puka.
Adams.
Devontae Adams. I mean, I
Who's
think
guarding
Tay can have a good game
Devontae?
too. Tay will have a good game too. I think, but also like we talk about the code though. We could see McVay go to the run game. Blake Corum's been stepping up as RB2. You still got Karen
Tyron Williams.
Williams. Yep. I think what concerns me, like I said earlier in the show, Rams pass defense. I mean pass rush. Versing them, they have to get to Caleb. Like you got to take a recipe from the Packers first half They were rattling Caleb. They were blitzing. They were getting him off his feet, get him scrambling. You know what I mean? You got to do that for your LA. And I think with the Bears in this instance, you also need to run the football. You also need to establish a run game. Don't throw the ball so much in the first 2 quarters and try to make Caleb this hero and like build him up. You gotta develop him. You know what I'm saying? Get the support
Yeah.
system going. Run the football for Chicago if they want to win the game. But I'm gonna lean LA. I think they, like I said, with experience. I think LA is the more experienced football team. Um, I think Stafford's gonna deliver in a big way. And even though I think Stafford has the MVP award wrapped up, I still think this is the MVP type clincher for him. I think
Yeah.
he needs to solidify his performance, and especially against a Bears defense that's really good. And in this weather, what better way to do it than do it on Sunday?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I gotta go with the Rams. I think the Rams will win. I think their experience in the cold will help them out because I think Puka played an excellent game against the Eagles last season. I think Kyron Williams played a good game except for that fumble. Blake Corum, like you said, I think Kyron Williams, like his body was just wearing down at the end of the season. We saw it with the fumbles, and
Yeah,
I think that having an RB2 like Blake Corn who played at Michigan, who's used to the cold, will play a key factor in this. And we all know
yeah, that's huge.
McVay wants to run the ball. I think having two running backs that can go 10 plus carries and a half, I think we'll see that. I think McCorn will get at least 6 to 8 carries in the first half. I think Kyron will have 10 to 12. I think that they're gonna have a balanced offense. I expect a lot of like wide receiver screens, nothing crazy to where like,
Yeah, like
oh,
short, immediate. Yeah, I could see
yeah.
that.
And then in the red zone, we could see Tate Adams with a fade, Tate Adams with a slant because his release is like
Still
one of
top
the best.
notch.
Yeah, so it's like
Hmm.
we still gotta give Tate Adams his credit. I think Tate Adams will have a touchdown. I think this is the game where Matthew Stafford shows that a young pup. I still got it. Hey, you can sit this one out. But I think if the Bears lose this game, the Bears have a lot riding for them into next season. I think
I
I
agree with
think that
that.
I think this foundation that you have with Swift, Monangai, uh, Loveland, Komet, um, you still got Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, those three wide receivers, and just having a team to get this far, where the expectation was very low in the beginning of the season, was very pleasing to see. Ben Johnson attitude. We see all the post game locker room good, better, best, and it's like that's just a saying that's been around that team for this season. But you can tell each week they started buying more and more. Now that they're bought in, the culture is set. I think Chicago now has a winning culture, something that you couldn't have said for a very very long time. I think that they found that guy with Ben Johnson. They found their franchise quarterback with Caleb Williams. So I think this postseason can be one of the best postseasons that we've seen in a very, very long time. But those are our picks. Those are our predictions. Those are our analysis. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I see you guys on the next one.
See you
Peace.
guys.